Well, there's a lot of road maintenance agreements out there that aren't recorded. That's one of the key things, is a recorded agreement. I had one a few years back. There was a VA loan. They were at the very end of Knickerbocker subdivision.
What a name.
Yeah. And you have to go all the way out to the nearest paved road. So we had to go and do 200 signatures. So by the time we start, once we were about to start, the neighbor right up across the way just says, I'll sign it. I'll do the whole thing. I agree, and we'll record it that he'll do the whole thing.
Wow.
So he said, okay, that's fine.
Yeah, done. Wow. Mm-hmm. Knickerbocker. I haven't heard a fun name like that in a long time.
Right? You don't know where that is?
I do now. I just forgot about the Knickerbocker. Yeah.
I have a road maintenance agreement conversation I just recently had. I have a couple of customers, their parents actually developed a subdivision, and the parents have passed away. And so the sons right now at this point are trying to sell off the last couple pieces of land that are out there. And I grabbed the road maintenance agreement because I'd had it from a few other places I'd sold out in that subdivision. And one of the sons was reading it. I gave it to him to make sure he had covenants and all the agreements before we listed it. And he noticed that the agreement actually said that it would be maintained by the developers, which were the parents, or their heirs.
Oh,
and he said,
she's
okay,
on the hook.
Yeah, he's like, well, they're dead. And I never agreed to that. And I said, well, we might just have to get a new road maintenance agreement with the neighbors involved for the next sale. Because obviously, he said, I'm selling. I'm not going to, for all eternity, be responsible for the subdivision that my parents put together. He's like, I don't understand how that even could have.
Sells and moves out?
Yeah, like how could that language have even gone in there? I don't know how that language could have even gone in there.
Yeah,
but it does.
Paid HOA that would maintain it just for the road.
Yeah.
Because we see that a lot in Colorado, is because there is so much snow there. It needs to be graded. Yeah, you can't just be like, you're going to do this for free.
For free.
Forever.
For eternity. Yeah. Because your parents decided they were going to. And I'm sure they didn't do that. Somehow that language got in there by an attorney or someone that crafted it, a title company. Somebody did this for them for their first sale, probably along the way. And it's worked for every sale. But at this point, the sons are going, well, but we're
not doing that.
Yeah. This is the first time we've seen this. This is the first property we've had out here, and I'm trying to figure out how they do that. And I said, well, maybe you need to talk to an attorney, or maybe we need to get a new road maintenance agreement in order, with the people that are staying here involved.
Yeah. Could you imagine just forever their kids are doing it, their grandkids, it's like, oh, yep, we just take care of that road.
Yep. No, you just call these guys and they just show up with another thing of gravel for us anytime we need it. That's not how that works.
Yeah.
Well, and it's not just snow and then a bumpy road. You could have big rains that wash a section
wash
of
it out. Yeah.
Wash a section of the road
could require a culvert, could require major work.
Yeah. Well, along those lines, what about considerations of like proximity to the fire department? I mean, there are considerations for that with lenders.
Insurance could be higher. Yeah.
So what are your thoughts on that? What have we ran into?
Insurance a little bit higher, just because, you're not going to get, if you're sitting on Main Street and your house catches on fire and you call 911 within the first 10 minutes, chances are pretty good somebody's going to be there pretty quickly. But out there, if you're 30, 40 minutes away from any things, insurance could be a problem. But you also got to consider a lot of older people really like to move out of town. But the problem is then you start having health issues as well. Yeah. And how far are you from those services if you had a medical emergency? That's a lot of things that I find older clients thinking about and talking about. And that's a really smart thing to think about. Sounds good to be 30 miles out of town, all this quiet and peacefulness, but you're also 30 minutes from any help.
Yeah.
I don't know if this has been your experience too, but more accidents are probably going to happen if you're working with bigger equipment and you're doing more outside and you're having to cut down trees and it's more opportunity for accidents.